Civilizing the native, educating the nation. Next, in the earlier chapters, you have seen how British rule affected Rajas and Nawabs, peasants and tribals. In this chapter, we will try and understand that it had for the life of students for the British in India wanted not only territorial conquest and control over revenues. They also felt that they had a cultural mission. They had to civilize the natives, change their customs and value. Next, what changes were to be introduced? How were Indians to be educated, civilized, and made into what the British believed were good subjects? The British could find no simple answer to these questions. They continued to be debated for many decided how the British saw education. Let us look at what the British thought and did, and how some of the ideas of education what we now take for granted evolved in the last 200 years. In the process of this inquiry, we will also see how Indians reacted to British ideas and how they developed their own views about how Indians were to be educated. The tradition of Orientalism. In 1783, a person named William John arrived in Calcutta. He had an appointment as a junior judge at the Supreme Court that the company had set up. In addition to being an expert in law, Jones was a linguist. He studied Greek and Latin at Oxford, knew French and English, had picked up Arabic from a friend, had and also learned Persian. At Calcutta, we began spending many hours a day with Pandit, who taught him the subtleties to Sanskrit language, grammar, and poetry. Soon he was studying ancient Indian texts on philosophy, religion, politics, morality, arithmetics, medicine, and other sciences. John discovered that his interests were shared by many British officials living in Calcutta at the time. Englishmen like Henry Thomas and Nathaniel Halhed were also busy discovering the ancient Indian heritage, mastering Indian language, and translating Sanskrit and the present work into English together with them. Jones set up the Ascetic Society of Bengal and started a journal called Jones and Colebrook came to represent a particular attitude towards India. They shared a deep respect for ancient cultures, both of India and the West Indian civilization that felt had attained its glory the ancient past, but it subsequently declined. In order to understand India, it was necessary to discover the secret and legal texts that were produced in the ancient period. For many, only those texts could reveal the real ideas and laws of the Hindus and Muslims, and only a new study of these texts could form the basis of future developments in India. So John and Brooke went about discovering ancient texts, understanding their meaning, translating them, and making the findings known to others. This project, they believed, would not only help the British learn from Indian culture, but it would also help Indians rediscover their own heritage and understand the lost glories of their past. In this process, the British would become the guardians of Indian culture as well as its masters. Next, influenced by such ideas, many company officials argued that the British ought to promote Indian rather than Western learning. They felt that institutions should be set up to encourage the study of ancient Indian texts and teach Sanskrit and present literature and poetry. The officials also thought that Hindus and Muslims ought to be taught that they were already familiar with and what they valued and treasured, not subjects that were alien to them. Only then they believed could the British hope to win a place in the hearts to be the natives. Only the could the alien rulers experts of the respected by their subjects.